obviously you've got a lot of questions that you want to ask tonight. There's a lot of questions you're going to fire at us. If I can ask you just to bear in course, Mark's going to give you the factual evidence, right? Because there's a lot of factual evidence here. And then obviously we're going to speak about it, and then afterwards we'll have a little bit of a Q&A, and then you sit there and ask whatever questions you want, and we can try and get it out as much as we can. Mark, if you want to take over?
Yeah, I won't stand up, but yeah, obviously since the last game of the season on the 24th of April, I was approached by the chairman of the Ryman Football League, Alan Turvey, and he informed me that there could be an investigation in the affairs of Tilbury Football Club. On Monday morning of the 26th, I had a phone call from League Champion, who works for the financial regulatory body of the FA, to say that there's certain issues he would like to discuss with me as the club secretary. To keep that brief, there was a couple of minuted meetings back in 2008 where the members of Tilbury Football Club agreed that the trustees of Tilbury Football Club become directors of Tilbury Football Club, and there was another meeting in September 2008 where the members of Tilbury Football Club agreed that one individual would get 70% of the shares and the three other directors 10%. This gentleman said, as I was present at both of these meetings, why would I agree to that? Specifically the second point, because there is only 2 full members of the Football Association out of 130 of who have a percentage shareholding more than 70%. One club is Tilbury Football Club and the other one is Chelsea Football Club, where Roman Abramovich bought the major shareholder with investing over £300 million. Why would I, as a club secretary, agree to Robbie Nash to take 70% of Tilbury Football Club when they've got assets of over £10 million? I said I was not at either meeting. I was in Florida for the first meeting and I was certainly not at the second meeting. He asked me to call a meeting to address the trustees with the points of issue from the FA, stating I was not at those meetings. I did, and they said there must have been some misunderstanding. Within 48 hours I was sacked as a club secretary, Paul was a Met secretary, Chester and all coaching staff sacked from the club. Since then there's been an investigation by the FA into the affairs of the club, culminating in a meeting at Tilbury Football Club, which will be on the 28th of May at 11 o'clock. That is unprecedented by the FA. All meetings are held at Wembley, but the solicitor for the club said that at least 3 of the individuals are unable to travel on public transport and cannot go to Wembley. The meeting was going to be scheduled at the club solicitors, but as there will be 2 people from the FA, 3 from the Ryman Football League, the chief executive of the Essex County FA, and the 4 individuals, the 4 trustees or directors as they now call themselves, and the...
Who the 4 directors are?
4 directors are Robin Nash, Daniel Nash, Andrew Waters and Lloyd Brown. Also understand that Lloyd Brown has now been appointed club secretary without no meeting or discussion at this moment in time. Although I'll still be recognised by the FA, the Ryman Football League, as the secretary until the investigation is completed. There's been further allegations regarding the members of the trust. It appears that there may be a member of the trust who has not been involved in any of these discussions, and the FA are concerned that there may be some malpractice.
No, just ask how many members of the trust is there?
There are...
Surely it's got to be a good number, surely.
There are currently 4. However, the FA have requested the constitution of the football club from the club solicitor, the members list, because we obviously were a members club at the time when it was agreed to become a limited company. It was alleged that at that meeting in March 2008, as all the members were obviously offered to attend the meeting, only 7 members attended that meeting, and at least 2 of those members did not attend the meeting, me and the vice president.
I know I'm a bit of a pain, but we'll discuss it between us. Can trustees actually do that? Can a trustee? My interpretation of the trustee is what I was told when I asked this question was that a trustee is with Tilbury Football Club was somebody that the club owns the ground. The club owns the club, right?
The trustees own the
club,
land.
The club owns the club.
The trustees own the land.
The trustees own the club then?
Yes,
they
own all the...
Right.
So the trustees, how do they become trustees?
Listen, if you let me take over, Mark. Right,
yeah.
Right. Basically,
because there's no point in going any further unless we know...
right, listen, lads, let me clarify this point. The club owns the land, yeah. Right? What basically happened was in 1948, that a group of gentlemen, when we played Notts County, they got a substantial amount of money and they bought the land, they bought the assets. What happened with the assets, what happens is you get appointed as a trustee. So what happens is basically is you can have they've appointed 4 trustees. Over a period of time, that trusteeship has been handed down and been voted in and voted out. Now, what's particularly happened now is, and we know for a fact there is 5 trustees, because there's one particular trustee that's come to light that still is a trustee, but what they've done is they've said that he was abroad from 1996 and they've pushed him out of the trusteeship. With a trusteeship, it basically works like this. I'll leave £1 million to my son. I'll put Tony as a trustee, Mark as a trustee, Neil's a trustee and Paul's a trustee. That money is my son's money, right? That doesn't belong to anyone else apart from my son. What these 4 gentlemen are in charge of is to make sure and act on behalf to make sure that my son gets that money. What has happened here in a nutshell, lads, is that what Robbie's turned around and done is over a period of time is that he's put his son in place as a trustee, obviously Lloyd Brown as a trustee, and obviously Andy Waters, because Andy Waters is one of the original trustees because he's been here for so long. Now, what he's then tried to do is we own 11 acres of land there. What they've done is obviously Frank Lampard and Montana Developments have come in, and obviously, and even though they are to blame, lads, they're not really that much to blame, because it's the trustees that are at fault here. Because what they've turned around and done, and they've found a very weak chairman, and they've offered him money, and they've turned around and obviously there's some money that's gone across somewhere along the line, and because they've been sponsoring the club, it looks like they're doing it for the benefit of the club. What they've turned around and done and told everybody is that what we're going to do is we're going to build you a new £4 million stadium, and we're going to put it into the Gateway Academy, which is half a mile up the road. The problem with that particular deal is you're never going to own the club, because as soon as it goes onto the Gateway Academy's land, it becomes government land. And because it's government land, they're not going to give you the land, the school will own the stadium. So what you're going to be in is you're going to be in exactly the same position as what Greys are now, is you then become a tenant, and you therefore have to pay to play in your own stadium. So the conditions of trust, which is obviously what the FA want to look at, and the solicitors that we've spoke to, because we've now appointed some solicitors to act on behalf of you, the fans, and of Mark as the club, is that the deeds of trust. And the deeds of trust will tell you what your obligation is as a trustee. What Robbie's then done is he's then set up a limited company, and with the 4 members of the trust, which is the same 4 members that are going to be the 4 directors, he's then gone from being just one trustee to now owning 70% of the company that will own the money and the rights. But he's a limited company. You're not a trustee, right? Is that legal? It's legal if you do it right.
It's legal if the members accept it.
If the members accept it. What Robbie's then done is he's told the FA, because we are a members club, that there's only 7 members. Right? He's closed the book on all of you. How many of you can hold your hands up here and say that you're a member of Tilbury Football Club, that have got a membership at Tilbury Football Club?
If it goes to court, I can say that I'll back in, I don't know when.
Well, all I'm saying is
7 years ago.
In 2008, when this meeting was